I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. And our next movie is a real throwaway piece of trash.
So this is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
And that's the setup for one of the most thoroughly hateful movies of recent years. A movie that makes me cringe even when I'm sitting here thinking about it. I hated this movie as much as any movie we've ever reviewed in the 19 years we've been doing this show. I hated it because of the premise, which seemed shockingly cold-hearted, and because this premise is being suggested as entertainment, and because everybody in the movie was vulgar and stupid, and because most of the characters were obnoxious, and because of the phony attempt to add a little pseudo-hip philosophy. After you've sat through hour after hour of this complete trash, you begin to ask yourself, what did these female victims do to deserve the horrible attacks they undergo?
Maybe nobody could have been convincing in this project, which was basically more of a filmed deal than it was a movie that anybody really believed in.
And this movie was so bad, and the studio knew it, that they did something unprecedented with Roger and me. The film company actually sent Roger and me letters. Obviously, they were scared, and obviously, neither one of us would sign such a letter. Just this warning, if you don't believe me or Roger, believe the film company.
This is really great. Loyalty oaths, right? We have to sign a... No, I'm going to sign a piece of paper saying, no, I won't be a critic and I won't tell the truth about this film.
They won't get it from me.
The movie was a real bomb, and
No, I saw in a theater with people, and they were laughing at the picture, and I think that it stopped almost with the art direction. I think you're quite right. I think that they wanted to do the stylized kind of old-fashioned 30s black and white picture, and that was where the creativity stopped, because it's a stupid story. This is the common theme in all of these, most of these pictures. Script failure, script failure, script failure. Why take a best-selling novel and finally, after a long time, make it into a movie?
But the story is so disorganized, the characters are so badly written, that not only didn't I care what happened to them, they didn't even seem to care what happened to themselves.
It's built on stupidity.
The movie is extremely sick in its underlying orientation.
I think that these films are some sort of primordial response by some very sick people of men saying, get back in your place, women, is a man who is sexually frustrated with these new, aggressive women. And so he strikes back at them. Get back in your place. It's against the women's movement.
I think you're basically right, Gene. You know,
that's the pornography.
It's really sick.
That this is legitimate entertainment too. That you can go to a theater
and the movie
and pay for
doubled its money in its first weekend.
Okay.
Isn't that wonderful?
to be undressed and humiliated on the screen, as few actresses ever have been, certainly in non-porno roles. And then he tries to take the edge off her shocking scenes by turning the whole thing into some kind of a joke. Well, either this material is funny, in which case you don't take advantage of your stars, or it isn't funny, in which case it shouldn't have so much campy and adolescent dialogue along with the really powerful sexual scenes.
After all, she consented to do what she did on the screen, number one. Number two, I'm sure she's walking around wherever she lives, New York City or whatever, and survived the whole experience, just like Janet Leigh survived the shower scene in Psycho. So I don't think that that's pertinent.
It's how I react. And that's painful to me, to see a woman treated like that, and I want to know that if I'm feeling that pain, it's for a reason that the movie has other than simply to cause pain to her.
There is a real salivating over the garbage in this picture.
I mean, Gene, art all through the years has dealt with the violent and with the vulgar and with the profane as part of human experience.
As part of it.
What is unique about this film is that they have taken out all the other parts of human experience and left only this in, so it becomes a very dismaying and very depressing experience to sit through.
Just think of the message this film offers to its audience. The world is a totally evil place, this movie says. It'll kill you. It doesn't matter what your dreams and hopes and ambitions are. It doesn't matter if you have a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or you've got plans for the future. You can forget those plans. There is literally nothing else in this movie. And the sickest thing is, this isn't the final chapter. The ending clearly sets up a sequel. And what I want to know is, I wonder if they're going to be heartless and cynical enough to make the sequel, because why not? They've already taken the bucket to the cesspool for the sludge. I think the people who made this movie ought to be ashamed of themselves, and that's what I think, Gene.
No.
And I'm going to vote no.
I had a feeling you might. And what a violent mess this is. Recycling every movie cliche. There was some controversy over scenes featuring full frontal nudity, but those scenes have been cut. Another reason not to see this obvious, overhyped melodrama.
It's just as well we're not showing some of those scenes. I think people would turn their sets off.
Yes. These women in the films are typically portrayed as independent, as sexual, as enjoying life.
This aggressive woman gets a room all right,
but she also gets beaten, gagged, tied up in a closet, and attacked with a knife.
Now that's mildly rough, but the film doesn't continue with her getting really nasty because it doesn't have the guts to do that. Instead, it trots out, unbelievably, her two roommates who don't believe her story and instead sympathize with the guy. That's incredible, especially because they can see that she has been beaten, and especially because she has been living in their same house for probably a couple of years, and they've never met him. Sure, I'll believe a perfect stranger who's beaten up my roommate. That makes a lot of sense.
It's almost as if the audience is being asked to identify with the attackers in these movies, and that really bothers me.
That's a very good point.
I'm going to hit you 6 times, and you're going to count with me.
Yeah, real great. She's the latest word in leading men from the geniuses at Paramount Pictures. You get the idea.
Count, Anastasia.
I mean, can't they grow up a little bit? These antics are like cartoon sequences.
And I saw that scene developing, and I said to myself, no, they're not going to really do that. Someone's going to stop in and save her, and no one did.
It really makes me sad to think of all those moviegoers, most of them teenage kids, sitting there watching this sad, cynical, depressing movie.
Anybody who sees this picture will see it either the way you did and I did, which is that it's just a mayhem film. You might as well watch car accidents edited together, or they will think it's just a lark.
You know, I sat in a theater, and I saw this with some kids, and you watch them coming in. It's an R-rated picture. That means most of the people will be under 17. They're 13, they're 12, they're 14.
Okay, it's garbage.
They're coming in, they're sitting there for 2 hours. This is supposed to be fun. They're told it's fun. They see it advertised on television. It did a lot of business. Their older brothers and sisters went to see it. And what do they see for 2 hours? Just cynical defeatism.
It's terrible. It's a terrible film. There is the theory, you know, you guys are knocking this stuff, but don't you stop for traffic accidents? Don't you slow down? Maybe I slow down a little bit, you know, but I don't get out of my car, go over and look at the body cavity and see where the head's been ripped off. And that's the difference in the film. And along the way, we get scenes of repeated, twisted violence that are thoroughly unpleasant. Thumbs down from me.
Well, to coin a phrase from me, thumbs way down. Way down. This movie is a complete mess. I mean, one thing after another.
I didn't like the picture from the violence. The violence. I mean, it's so unpleasant. I mean, that's what I don't get. I mean, can't they grow up a little bit?
You know, it's like a zoo.
You know what it is? It's a bunch of actors who are getting their first break. A lot of these are people I haven't seen before.
Where's the pain? Where's either the joy of the relationship, which isn't shown, or where is the pain?
It's almost as if they left out all the important scenes and put in all the stuff in between.
That is if you think you can handle a sneak peek into Christian's Red Room of Pain.
TV commercials like that one exploiting the plight of women in danger. Those ads have been saturating television for the past 2 years.
You know, a lot of people think that the battle has been won in Hollywood on films about women. They think that now women have parity with men, that there's strong women images in the films. Got it all wrong. These films are coming out week after week, playing to millions of people, and the dominant image in American films today on women, it's women like that, cowering in the corner, being raped. That's what's going on in American movies.
These films hate women, and unfortunately, the audiences that go to them don't seem to like women too much either. Now, we go to see these films in movie theaters. These are not the kinds of movies where they have nice private little screenings for the critics. And to sit there surrounded by people who are identifying not with the victim, that is the most violent, extreme, grotesque, nauseating R-rated picture I've ever seen, and I just don't understand how the R rating has grown so large as to include these films, which in my opinion go right off the map of any kind of good taste.
This is entertainment. It's deplorable. I mean, there isn't a gag that works. It's embarrassing. You feel unclean as you're sitting there. It's junk. First-class junk.
Take a sexy subject and you dress it up in a fashionable cause so it looks like you're being noble.
Really?
Any subject could be done well. This is just trash.
This movie wasn't even good trash.